Checked for weather today. 10 days of rain here. Saturday onwards. Oh,
she's I think Yorkshire sort of way.
Bloody hell.
All right, careful not to dox, guys. Jesus, that is funny. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by my little Tony.
Au revoir.
What?
I just thought I'd mix it up because we've got nothing to talk about. So I'm just starting off and shocking everyone.
He's just doubled his knowledge of French like that.
Yeah,
amazing.
Exactly.
We got snow out up on the hills here. What the hell?
Oh my god.
Yep. Everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Hello.
And the only reason the show keeps rolling, Andy Frank.
Hello.
Hello.
Look, make me laugh saying bonjour, damn it. Yeah, caught you all out, didn't I? Hey, caught you out.
Well, he would particularly like the old Frenchness because the old French Canadianness.
Mm.
I know.
Is that how that works?
I don't think everyone in Canada describes himself as French Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he can appreciate a good old.
That seems kind of dangerous territory. Like that
Yeah,
feels
French.
like kind of Scottish English potential. You know, you don't want to mix those things up. You could start a war, and we're already close enough. We don't need to start any war.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
Isn't there going to be a war? You know, France versus
the Channel Islands.
Jersey. Yeah.
Why? What? What's this about?
Fishing rights.
Oh, no way, really?
It's not good.
Well,
Sorry,
I mean, we've got the not the Predator or the Reaper. Which one is it that they've got flying out over the channel? There's a big fixed wing drone that they've had flying out the channel the past couple of year or two.
I didn't know we had any drones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We've got Reapers and
Yeah, we've got a load. Usually they're flown out in Wales. Where there's a specific site out in Wales.
I think if it was a British one, it would be named by the public and be called something like Droney McDroneface or something. I think that would work better.
Yeah, that seems about right.
I think Caroline's hit it in one there. Nobody likes the French. Nothing more needs to be added. We've been at war for 100 years. There's no reason to change anything else.
I feel like the history here seems to be slightly wrong. I'm pretty sure.
We had the 100-year war with French, didn't we? And then
I see.
I don't.
We have had at some point.
Technically, the war's over, but I don't think it's hearts and minds have not let go. Put it that way.
And was the 100 Years' War actually 100 years long? I feel like that's the sort of thing where they're going to name it one thing and it's not real.
Yeah, I don't think so, because that would have been pretty. That's pretty handy that it was exactly 100 years, isn't it? It's probably like 20 years or something.
Okay.
We're showing a deep knowledge of our own history.
And you can tell that
a mix between xenophobia and uninformed historical information here.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting and dreading the email of "I'm possibly your only French listener," and I was offended.
Yeah, you take that one.
No French.
You can take that one, Jack.
Oh,
so, Mr. I is crash stuff. What have you been crashing?
Yeah, and I'm Brighton to Life Fly. Yeah.
Okay, that's the intro. Moving on.
Editor, you can literally cut all of that bit out until then.
Yeah.
I can see this being a 5-minute long podcast. And it's edited.
Can we cut it short? Have we ever done that before?
Yes. We've definitely had them at like 40-something minutes.
Can we do a half-hour one?
Despite having like a 20-minute intro, we still haven't got Jack's full attention. He's still fiddling with something as per usual with his hands.
He's like, what is he doing?
I'm adjusting my ceramic tweezers.
Well, that does sound more important than our podcast.
What tweezers?
Ceramic.
Is it
Got
for
ceramic
doing more of
tiles.
these?
So you can.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got one.
I did.
Oh yeah,
get...
you visited
Right.
him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep, because I
I
went
mean,
and
that's
bought
not
a
a very-
car.
That's not a very good
Yes.
one because it was soldered together without solder mask.
And so, having bought a car, thank you very much, Tony, for the lift to go buy the car.
No problem.
Went over to Jack's, said hello, and
Yeah.
received one of the little LED PCBs that Jack's been
Yeah.
making.
There's one here for you, Tone, that's green.
I'll collect it.
Green
I'm hoping to do a long range flight when this month-long easterly westerly wind buggers off. It's been here literally a month on and off, isn't it? That cold wind. When that buggers off, I'm going to go and do a long range flight down at Hidden Valley again. So I will pop in and see you.
Oh.
And now it's light until what, 9? Still light now. And normally the wind drops in the evenings, summer evenings that is. It's still not really summer yet, is it? It's like on the cusp. But yeah, I'll pop down and you can either come with me
That would be
or
nice.
or I'll just
Or
come
go
back
on my
on the
own.
way home. Yeah.
That's the two options.
Good
That's
options.
covered well.
Basically. Yes. I'm still waiting for my tent. My tent's still not here.
Is this the tent that goes on your car, or is this?
Yeah, well, on
I
the
thought you
roof rack.
got that ages ago.
Oh,
Or if you
I
just got
ordered
the
it
roof
ages-
thing, but you haven't got the tent for it.
Well, I've got a roof rack because I need it for work, but I'm just still waiting for it. I think it got stuck on that big boat what got stuck in the Suez Canal. So
Well, there's also the other problem
it's
is
delayed.
the problem that is happening with shipping at the moment is that they're still trying to catch up because there's only so many places you can put a ship to unload it, and for however many days they were empty because there were no ships turning up, and then you've got to somehow get all the stuff off the ships. So there's
Yeah.
a load of ships kind of waiting for a space to become available. So
Backed up, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. Waiting for that to kind of work its way through. That is why there is a load of delays, or that's another reason why there's a load of delays on like drone bits and roof tents and whatever else you want to get hold of that isn't made in this country out of stuff that's already in the country.
So every single thing then.
Yes.
Exactly.
This is stupid. We should need to take this opportunity to start building back better again. Where have I heard that before?
Sod off.
Jack, can you pay attention to your podcast, please, and stop playing around with your tweezers and whatever's between your legs?
Oh my god, man! Fucking hell. I was just like, I was literally reading the bloody chat over there, like.
Okay. Have you gone
I
out this
literally
week?
messaged in the chat at 0FPV.
Did you go out and fly crash this week? A fly this week?
No, because the weather's absolutely awful. It's like
You didn't go
super
out
windy.
fail safing?
No,
Yeah, I
I've
know,
redone
it's-
my quad though.
What, have you changed the antenna stuff?
Yeah, I'm back on the old. What's it called? Immortal T bollocks or
Okay.
whatever.
So I think the problem is that the chat didn't see the footage, well, the pictures we saw. Like, you complained about foul safing, and then we saw a picture of you flying, which involved you going like this and holding your radio at this specific angle, which is like, I'll teach
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, but it's got like the old setup had a like Immortal L, so I was both both vertically and horizontally polarized.
Why
One
don't you buy
question
a
about that, though.
diamond antenna for the transmitter? They're about 20 quid.
Because all that does is it narrows your height for range.
It goes further. And you
Yeah,
don't have
it's-
to. I don't think you have to worry about orientation as much. Well, I just pointed the way it looks like it should go.
Well, it's all linear. It's all linear polarized. So still,
Well,
and yeah, I
here's a
don't.
question that comes up from that one as we're stuck for topics. Do you know you're holding your radio at this angle? Because often it's the case of we don't know we're doing things. So you see people with patch antennas with their heads down on the floor like this often.
I'm the person who does that.
When I film myself flying, because I was just wanting to film what go around me, I noticed I swayed around a lot without noticing that. Jack turns around sideways.
Do I? I don't hold my transmitter like that, do I?
You do. I've seen you
That's the
fly
picture I
like
saw.
When?
That
Was
was
you
from your birthday a few years ago, 2-3 years ago. When we dragged you out to the rugby field, I think that was when it was.
Yeah. Mm.
And yeah, you were having to hold your radio sort of rolled 90 degrees in order to have any signal.
That's a bit weird. Why was that?
Because you'd mounted your antenna on your radio
Oh, he still hasn't
horizontally,
learned then.
parallel with the handle, but you had
Yeah.
mounted the antenna on your quad vertically.
2 years on,
Oh,
Jack,
yeah.
and you're still making mistakes.
No,
Yes.
no. So I was just too
Yeah.
lazy to turn the antenna the right way on the transmitter. That was all.
Terrible.
I think if we can ever get together again, what we should do is everybody puts goggles on, everybody flies, and then we have a race on foot. So it's not just a case of a static image. You have to fly around yourself whilst running along, flying.
Have you
in a
tried
race.
that? Like, it's so hard to do.
I
Can't
have
even
just tried
walk.
moving. Frankly, I've got like footage of myself, and it looks ridiculous. So I'm in a funny place here. So I hover, looking at myself, and then I attempt to move, and then I realise I'm moving the opposite to what I'm doing in the camera, and it's like left hand, right. It's all very weird. And then I almost like fall over because there's like lumps on the floor and stuff. It's good fun though.
It is so hard to do.
Hmm.
It is like, yeah, I find it very, very like because you're walking in third person view, aren't you?
Yes, but it's not like everything seems to be reversed as well. Do you remember when we tried like let's FPV land in our own hand with the whoops? That was bizarre because it's just like I'm flying, I put my hand out here, quad just falls down over there somewhere because you weren't lined up at all.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that. Andy hopefully will come back at some point, but he's still, he's still basically in recovery. I think is fair to say.
I do miss him. I like the northern chats, talking about northern things. Again.
Oh, Andy, I see you're normal, ain't you?
Yeah.
There's he's been doing some nice videos with the pan tilt system on his and the head tracking on his little cubs with him and Phil out flying in formation using his well-honed formation flying skills from DCS.
I know. I remember seeing the video where there was two cows having sex, and the little one was called Tony, and the big one was called Jack.
Yeah,
which I thought was quite good. He still references to us. I know we all miss Andy. The trouble is, he came back like too early, and kind of like it messes up his sleep pattern after the after the show, unfortunately, because and he's just trying to like get back to like where he was. There's a tremendous amount of pressure from him, from like YouTube. I'm sure Make Me Lab knows all about that, where it's and you Curry, where you've got to constantly be producing videos all the time.
I've rebelled against that idea at the moment, based on the fact that I can't produce anything. So longer term projects.
Why is that? Because you can't get out to fly, or is your knee still hurting, or is it because your flying field's too far now, or what?
My knee still hurts, and thus I get like tired really quickly. Also, because I haven't been doing any reviews lately, it means that people sort of say, "Well, I'm not sending any stuff to you because you don't do reviews." So it's going to be like not review stuff. It's going to be like project stuff, and project stuff. What I noticed, I sent a message out to all my Patreon people just telling them about this. Is like what I've noticed about developing the sim is if you spend a great deal of time on one thing, you can really move it along. So what I used to do with reviews is you have like 5 or 6 things on the go, and you just do a bit here and a bit there, and you go down the flying field, and you've got a big bundle of stuff, and you take them all out. With project stuff, it's like you want to just keep. If you just keep working on the same thing, you'll get a lot done, but you won't have lots of videos on it. You'll have like a video every maybe 1 or 2 weeks about this is what I did and this is how I did it and that sort of thing. But it's potentially more interesting. but not as good.
Magical Pencil asks, "Can you review an electric wheelchair? Then use that to go flying."
I did suggest using
like
my home built electric skateboard, but I felt this was not so good with the knee because last time I used it, I ended up in hospital because I hurt my knee after I fell off.
Any of my
That's not the best
friends,
thing.
any of my friends who own electric skateboards always send me pictures of injuries and then pictures of them from hospital a couple of days later. So I
Yeah,
suggest don't
It's
ever get
great
one of
fun
them.
showing up in Casualty with your daughter. And they're like, "What happened to you?" And I said, "I fell off my skateboard." I have to write that on a form. And then I have to say, "Oh, I didn't know you're writing that down. Could you put down like saving orphans from a fire or something?" So it's not as bad. But no. I thought it was very amusing.
I bet.
We'll have to see.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah. Thanks, Richard Warwick. Yeah. I don't know, man. I've ordered some new frames, so I'm gonna try and retire the old aliens. So if you're over
Because
40,
you didn't really want to
Yeah.
retire your aliens, did you?
no, not really. They do their job. They're a bit heavy though. Bless them.
Yeah, but that's what makes them nice to fly.
Yeah, that's for a freestyle quad. Sometimes weight's good, isn't it? Because it smooths everything out.
The trouble is, I've got the weight from the old GoPro because I never subscribed to the whole session size GoPro, so I've always been carrying that extra load on the front of my quads.
So do I.
You always get a naked GoPro.
Oh, yeah, I know, but how long do they last?
Or
Smash them up
the
in seconds.
I crash them.
Yeah, don't crash them.
what's the pre-built naked one?
Beta
FPV, yeah.
Yeah. What? So are you retiring to aliens, and what are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you having
Yeah,
instead?
well,
then?
obviously, because I got my spare, but the spare didn't really get out so much.
SMO.
What is
Do-
SMO?
That is the camera.
brand.
No,
Beta
it's the-
FPV,
Oh, that's
beta
Beta
GoPro.
free camera thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
which
So-
looks all right, but it's not brilliant. I don't think.
Yeah.
So what are you swapping them for?
Apexes. So I've got those on order.
Same thing then. So it's going to be just an updated alien, basically.
Well,
They're a little
yeah.
bit different, I suppose, but not much.
It's the same. It's the same with the old. What do you call it? What have you got? The Chad's frame, the reverb.
Reverb.
Yeah. So I like. How are you finding that? Because that's just something I was going to phone you up and ask you. Is you've got like the split deck, haven't you, with it?
Yeah, it flies as much the same as the alien, to be honest. But one's Kiss V1 and one's Kiss V2, and always find the V2 a lot better than the V1. But then if you're going Apex, you're going to have to use a new 4-in-1 ESE, and not your old ESEs.
Yeah, some bollocks like that. Or
Can I buy the Kiss V2 ESEs off you then?
Yeah, man, if you want.
Question for you guys then. Aside from the build, Do you find that much difference in a frame? Because after you've built it, I tend to find that there is a slight difference between where the battery mounts. Like if it's centrally mounted, things fly a little bit better than sort of below or above the frame. But I have to say, I don't find a massive deal of difference between the many frames and how they fly. It's mostly about what sort of motors and ESCs and tunes on them rather than the frame themselves. But I find the frame just like the convenient sort of box to hold all the bits. Unless it's outrageously heavy or light, it's like much for muchness.
I like, for me, the Impulse RC like stuff, the carbon quality is really good, and they really supported like the legacy stuff really well. So you can go back to them and still buy a bottom plate. Trouble is, we live in England, so it means just importing that shit, and then I'll be like spending the exact same shipping, and maybe you'll occur some like shipping costs or whatever, some import costs on just buying some spare parts, where they used to be stocked in the UK, but now the Reverb and the Apex have all got spares in the UK. So it's, for me, it's like running the same frame for the longest amount of time, and you get kind of used to it. And I did notice from going from KISS V1 to V2, my roll on my V1 setup, my roll and pitch speeds were very much similar, but I'm finding that because they were set the same, but now on my V2 I'm finding that my roll rate's faster than my pitch rate, even though they're set to the same thing.
That's
so
weird.
Yeah,
your rates are ridiculously fast.
well, yeah.
I found that out in Wales.
Mm-hmm.
How easy is it to use a Crossfire in a FreeSky X Lite? Magical Pencil's done that, haven't you? Could you buy a?
Did TBS have that adapter now that you can put into the?
I think so.
Because
Yeah.
the X Lite uses the smaller backplate, not the normal JR one.
You could also get the you could also just go straight to the tracer if you haven't bought it, and they've got like the smaller modules. You'll be using 2.4, but you can actually get ones that will actually fit your X line.
Wasn't there something going on about the kind of changing the pinouts and things of the little kind of micros so that things wouldn't work with other things? Wasn't there something going on about that between FrSky and TBS?
That certainly sounds like a move FreeSky would pull. They're not known for doing shady things these days, are they?
No, leave them
Not
to it.
known for doing much at all these days, to be
I've
honest.
just seen Andy's posted a.
Well, yeah, Andy just posted that video about that new.
Haven't seen
that
it
new
yet.
radio, which says it's got some sort of HD capability, but no one's explained it.
Oh, is this the one that Oscar Lang had a little while ago, where it's got an HD screen in it, but it's not actually got anything inside it to actually feed it anything yet?
Oh,
yes, I think that's it.
Maybe the same then.
Yeah, that's always a great thing to do with FreeSky stuff. The stuff that isn't implemented yet. You've got like you end up living on nightly builds forever.
Yeah, but this isn't even kind of getting the software to work yet. This is the hardware isn't in there to do anything with it. It's just a screen, I think, from what I remember reading. It'd be up to you to get an input from whatever HD system you're using. Which, as Grumpy FPV asked, how's the Open HD going, Gary?
Yeah, it's something I want to get back to. I've got a couple of things to get out. There is views for 1, 2, 3-ish bits, and then I'm jumping back into OpenHD. And I had some ideas about, like last time I used it, I had to use I didn't have to, but I basically used this Pi in like a touchscreen module, and they didn't have the capability to also output HDMI. And I found the screen really hard to see in bright light, as most people would experience that. So I thought what I'd do is just take an uncased Pi 4 with me and plug it into the Elgato and capture the output directly into a MacBook and the other side into my goggles, so I can have a sort of proper experience. But yeah, the plan would be to update all the software, drive the rover again, make sure that's okay, get the 450 flying nicely on iNav, make sure you can position hold nicely, return to home, then move that to OpenHD. And if that's going well, then I put in an HD camera and use a CSI to HDMI converter. So you take the HDMI out from the HD camera into the CSI connector on the Pi, which gives a much nicer picture, but introduces a little bit more lag, which is the reason it's not going in like a fast quad. So you don't fly 100 mile an hour, a couple of inches off the floor. It's sort of more cruisy around sort of thing. But yeah, which is why it's like a longer term thing, which is why you might not be seeing very many videos from me. But when they come, they will be at least average quality. That's what I mean. Meet that milestone.
I'm very excited for that, because as far as I'm concerned, it's like, you know, not only you're going against the grain of DJI, but also you know, Fat Shark.
I'd like to say I'm fighting the power, but it's mostly a financial consideration as well.
So if you were using, or if you were wanting to put something on a faster model, would it be a case of using just kind of a Raspberry Pi camera, like one of the cameras that's meant for the Raspberry Pi, so that it's not having to do any conversion in between?
The delay in the system is mostly the fact that a Pi is like a something that runs an operating system. So it's not the difference between that and the DJI is the DJI has a specialized chip that will basically, it's just there to do conversion and compression, to take an image, compress it, send it, and the other end decompresses it really quickly. So you get like between like 20 milliseconds and 40 milliseconds of latency. What the Pi is doing, it's running its entire operating system. It's not got specialized hardware to do this conversion. Thus, the average latency is about 100 to 120 milliseconds. So what you do is get something that can be faster. Like I think the Jetson Nano brings that speed down to like 40, 50 milliseconds, but that's quite an expensive end-to-end solution. I think ideally what they're looking for is some sort of FPGA solution. So basically someone programs a chip just to do this and puts it in some embedded hardware, but that is somewhere down the line, because that obviously needs money and investment to produce something, probably some buy-in from some manufacturers. But that would give you potentially an open source HD solution that everybody might be able to use.
And we'd also need a protocol. That's the other thing. And you need an actual radio protocol that will deal with fast enough throughput and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, you essentially have that. I mean, at the moment, it's just the Wi-Fi is not the killer for it. It's the decompression and compression of MP4 movie stuff that's coming down.
Is that all the OpenHD is using? And it's just Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
I thought it was using
jumped
some
on.
kind of slightly modified protocol, so it's not just Wi-Fi. It's like some kind of other open source project that's like Wi-Fi broadcast or something.
It's Wi-Fi broadcast, but essentially that uses Wi-Fi still. I mean, they're slightly modified types of packets they're using, but it's still essentially, you know, it's still a Wi-Fi adapter to just putting out stuff, because that's still I mean, speed stuff, you can't go faster. It's just about how much bandwidth it's got going through, which is something. Caroline's asking, doesn't it send MSP for control? Yeah, it can do. At least evidence. Sorry, I was reading things. It's UDP. Oh, is it standard UDP? Caroline, do you know? I did read this at some point. I thought they had something. If this is regular UDP, that's just like what everything uses. UDP is a protocol where you send packets. If the packets don't get through, everyone shrugs their shoulders and says whatever, and then the next one gets through and it takes over again, which is much faster than TCP, which is a connection-based protocol where it's like, here's some stuff. Did you get that stuff? Yeah, I got it. I've got up to this bit. Great. Let me send you some more. Did you get that? So it's like the whole conversation stuff. So yeah,
Takes longer. That's like
Takes
me
longer.
when I'm talking to Jack. Hello. Did you understand that? Yeah.
Did you hear me, Jack?
The Jack.
Did your microphone fall out again?
Have you put your tweezers down?
Have you woke up? It's 8 p.m.
Unless you have to resend the information. It's a very good TCP analogy talking to Jack.
Look, he's buggered off again now.
He's dropped his
well.
tweezers. What about since Frank put me on the spot? What about you? Where's the vector-based thrusty twin-engine plane?
I received a thing from Flying Tech yesterday or today. I don't know, some point this week recently. A 433 megahertz radio, USB and micro thing to go on the actual plane so that I can actually have it plugged in at the same time and work out why it complains, because I don't understand why it's complaining sometimes. I mean,
does this mean it's based? Is it based on Autopilot? This thing, or is it?
Yes, it is based on Autopilot. Yes, it's a very obscure configuration within Autopilot. It's like a subsection
Here's the
within a
thing.
subsection.
I found with Autopilot, even if you use the main build of Autopilot, there is still all this crap scrolling on my screen, mostly complaining about the compass being mental and out of control. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? There's so much in there. It's
Yeah.
just, do you have to tell me all this stuff? But
It's a very weird kind of learning curve of like, if you open it up and you go, oh well, this is just like a configurator, like a Clean Flight, Beta Flight, iNav, whatever. It's just a configurator, and then you actually try and make it do something.
10,000 things you can turn on and off.
Yeah, and then trying to just make a combination of things work, and then trying to understand what it's telling you when it doesn't work. It all of a sudden you go, oh, this isn't what I'm looking at. It was the same kind of thing as kind of I was going to come up with an analogy, but it's an analogy that no one else will get, so it doesn't matter. But the
in a field somewhere, something sort of.
Using Autopilot is a bit like using Autopilot. There is no analogy. It's just its own.
Well, I was going to say it's like going over to direct modeling CAD after working with parametric modeling CAD, but
I agree totally.
Exactly.
Okay,
But
it's like moving from CAD to hitting a rock with a hammer and hoping the design comes out as you want it to.
But it is in kind of being brought out of hibernation. It will be flying, I hope, this month. That is my plan.
Well, don't forget to film it, because you're a bit rubbish at filming things.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Priority.
Carolyn in the chat has said, haven't I seen Jack's icon on a bin somewhere? I think that may be an Easter egg somewhere hidden in a particular game somewhere. So I think someone's found it. If you haven't,
Caroline was the only one that mentioned finding it after I said, "Did anybody see the Easter egg?"
Oh,
She got it.
Good. One person has found the Easter egg in there.
That means at least one person is playing the game. So yes,
Not only playing the game, but also presumably watches the podcast. Because would you know it was an Easter egg if you didn't do both?
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
The Venn diagram there is currently Caroline.
Yeah, just one in the middle. Andy RC's here. There's only one bin outside my house covered in dog piss.
Does it still have a sticker on, Andy? Stickers.
our cheap stickers have lasted. What? When did we go there? 3? Was it 2 years or 3?
3 years.
If it's
I think
there,
it's 3
if
years
it's been
ago.
free through 3 winters and it's still there, that's
It's not too
worth
bad.
his weight in gold. Them stickers. We'll have to get
Jack
some
got
more. ready
very
for
upset at me
winter.
about the modelling of Andy's bin because I scented it on the breeze block because I said people won't know that Andy's bin is actually almost like falling off and is all wonky.
Yeah,
They'll just
offset.
accuse me of doing it wrong.
That's Dave's little adapter connector thing, so that he can extend his antenna further.
So it looks like there's the crossfire and
Yep.
then a load of wires that have been hacked together and resoldered in a different way.
Twisted.
To a plug that's then plugging into the back of the X-Lite. So I'm assuming that, yes, they did change the pin out. And so you've had to kind of swap over some wires.
I don't think so then.
So what's the
then.
worth of that? You just put that bit on your lap and then sit with that bit. I mean, I don't see the point of that.
It allows him. I don't think it's like they've changed the. I don't think they've changed the pin out on the mini ones, but it's so he can get out of the wasn't it Fresnel field or whatever.
Fresnel zone?
Fresnel field, yeah. You know, the ground effect from the signals.
So Grumpy's saying, doesn't the Nano Crossfire module just plug in now? Is there a Nano module that is can fit on these module bays now?
I can have the Crossfire module up high and sit down. That is what. Okay, so you could
That
sit in a
makes sense.
car and basically put that outside or something like that. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, I quite like it. Yeah.
Along with the video receiver, and feed that back into your goggles on the inside.
Yes.
That'd be good.
You could wear a worker's helmet, strap the antenna to the back, get even more range. Why not put Free Sky bus receiver on the Crossfire and use it as a relay? Oh, it's getting too complicated for me.
Wow. I mean, I could see that working. I mean, that's kind of what they do with not a lot. Some of the kind of long range flyers, right? Have a 1.3 video receiver and then have that rebroadcast in 5.8, so you can still use a 5.8 goggle module rather than having like a 1.3 antenna sat on your face, which would be a problem.
As shown here in pictures, that they do as Grumpy suggested, the Crossfire Nano TX, which will cut out the middleman and allow you just plug your module straight in, which they do on the Trace as well, as Jack mentioned.
So there's a Nano one now.
There is a Nano one, so you can just plug in directly. But if you've already got your JR module, of course, then make up an adapter and you'll be good.
But then, So Caroline's suggesting then you could kind of do the reverse of the 1.3 to 5.8 by having your FL Sky just doing a access or whatever to an FR Sky receiver that you've plugged into a Crossfire module that's then doing the Crossfire out to there. So you've got your little base station that's receiving 1.4 and sending out Crossfire to your module, but receiving FR Sky and sending 5.8 back to you. I kind of like that idea.
So this we're a bit all over the place, but this is my upset with the modelling of the bin, because as you can see, the concrete bit is offset to the bin. The bin's more over as you're looking at it to the left. Oh, hang on. And see, now you're offset from the concrete slab.
Yeah, but Carrie Kitten can model that in real life because it would freak him out, wouldn't it?
People would not believe that people that didn't know it was Andy RC's bin would just say, why can't he put the thing straight on the concrete bit? So I can't have that. So Hence, it's
Mate, even the stickers are offset, so everyone knows what that bin should look like. I had that bin perfectly 3D modelled. I wish you could have brought some of your. I wish you could have brought some of your gear out, Frank, where you could have 3D modelled, and we could have had like 3D prints of the dog shit bin.
Yeah, I don't think I would have ever been able to move 10 grand plus worth of scanning equipment.
Just to do a shit bin.
Yeah.
The leaning tower of shit bin. Yep.
Alternatively, you could just model one box on another box and then poke it over the end. But then you'd have to print all these supports for it and break them off afterwards. That'd be boring.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, I didn't deal with supports. We just used powder.
It just grew out of it.
Nice.
Good. I'm going to start selling the poos as non-fungible
Tokens.
Tokens. Yeah, that's it. Oh my god. Yeah, do you reckon I could make quite a bit of killing off NFT of the dog shit bin?
Why not try?
What are you gonna lose?
Yeah,
just make sure you don't have to like buy 100 stickers like last time and transfer them on Etsy.
No. I've still got the wank sock design. I got sent that. If you guys, this might be the defining moment. Hang on, let me just get my email up.
Can we even get stickers done of this ready for Wings and Wheels?
Yeah,
Jack's betting his entire life savings on wank sock stickers.
It's okay. You added £18 to the to the fund of stickers, maybe.
Surely the wank sock design was to produce a wank sock, not a sticker of a wank sock. I feel that's non-functional.
Maybe you get a sticker after the said wank sock design.
Hang on.
Well, every time you crack one out, you put a little sticker on, like you've run over a hedgehog on a van or something.
I would have said hedgehog. I would have said German fighters or something, you know. But yeah.
So, hang on. I've got. Here you go, guys. How much?
You can tell we're low on stuff to talk about.
I know. It's like
potential wank sock sticker design.
So, if you guys want the wank sock sticker to be a thing, let me know. I need pre-orders.
Quite good.
I need.
I'm guessing that's a previous editor, judging by the art style.
No, it's not previous editor. No, none. The only one that was previous editor was the tinfoil hat one, which I've got a million of. There's a hot sale.
It needs a sticker on there somewhere.
I feel there's a design flaw in this sock, and it's possibly the holes in it.
Well, no. What do I need a Cockhornball sticker? I didn't think that was a big thing, because that was part of NJ's Discord.
When's NJ coming back?
So he's trying to buy a house, I think.
Between Blue Owl and Andy, I reckon.
Yeah, where is Blue Owl anyway?
In Poland still. Mm-hmm. On a sort of break, and she's got bad internet, and her little dog's sick. So I hope your dog gets well soon. So hopefully she'll be back when she goes back to work. Is that right? I don't know.
Tony, I've got a joke for you.
Where's the mute button?
I got a dirty joke. Tone, why did the sperm cross the road?
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Because I accidentally wore the wank sock.
Wow.
Cut.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week. And if the creeks don't rise, we'll see you this time next week. Bye.
We do have a plan for next week.
Well,
Right.
hopefully, yeah.
A plan.
Yeah,
At
I told you
last.
about it.
Told her
Jack's
about it.
very excited about next week.
Yeah, and
Oh,
you
is
should
that
be
next
as
week? You
well.
didn't tell me when we had potential said guest.
Yeah. So we're going to be covering the right to repair. We'll have a special guest.
I was kind of worried he might have just agreed to it without doing a bit of due diligence about us and finding out. Have we locked him in yet?
When is our
I think-
300th show, actually? Richard Warwick saying anything special for our 300th. What are we on today?
297 today.
Oh, we'll have to do something for that then, won't we?
Yeah. I don't know what, like, can we put our heads together? A big, massive think tank?
Anyone listening has any suggestions for what we could do for our 300th show on
Do you remember
the
we dressed up
27th
as
of
each
May?
other? That was well funny. Maybe we could
Yeah.
do that again.
Maybe we could see what the weather forecast is like.
Well, a live show outside in a field somewhere. What always goes wrong, doesn't it? We could do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because
I at least now know a
broadcast from a field
field
always
where I
works
can
so
like
well.
test the Wi-Fi beforehand, and I
Yeah.
can be pretty confident that there's going to be some good Wi-Fi.
Whenever I've
Yeah.
done it, even 4G on my phone, it still looks poo-poo.
Well, you mean all travel to where you are? And that might be the thing to do.
The kind of field we could go there.
Look, Johnny B's in the chat.
Johnny
Say-
Banton.
Hi,
Wow,
Johnny.
that is
Blast from the past.
I know. Oh, it's so good to see you. Live
Yes, we're
300 race.
still here. We're just talking about our 300th episode,
I
which is
know.
what, 5 years? Something ridiculous.
Yeah, when do we get to our 6-year anniversary?
August.
August. Wow.
We've been doing it 6 years this August coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need
Yeah.
to quit.
Man, if you can survive just me and you talking to each other for a couple of months, like a pandemic and shit weather is going to be nothing. It really, Johnny Banton, I miss you, man. You're so enthusiastic.
RC, yeah, do you remember Johnny Banton used to always be running and crash a
Yeah,
quad and then
always.
run to it and pick it up and start again, run and then
Yeah.
just be there at 5 a.m.
Lift digest planes.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, what a living legend himself. I remember phoning you once and being like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And you were just like absolutely hating him because he got a plane stuck in a tree with the low voltage alarm just constantly going off. It's not. I wish it was Big Clive. It'd be amazing if it was Big Clive.
RC Labotics says, why don't we... Oh, I'll press the wrong one. Why don't we do a live race? Let's find out who is the quickest. Oh, that could be good.
Might upset the Wi-Fi.
I haven't raced in 2 years, though. What, 5-inch? Or
How long an Ethernet cable have I got?
Yeah. Well, you need
Where's-
a long one to do something very neatly. Apparently,
That's what she said.
your rig at home.
Oh yeah.
You got permission.
I was wondering where maybe can't remember who's got the huge Ethernet cable that we had for Mini Air Show that ran all the way from
Fraser?
the trailer to I imagine it's probably Fraser. I don't
Could
think
we
it's
hire
me.
him? If we got an,
could.
could we hire him for that episode? Is there any money in the key at all?
I'll maybe ask around and see what I can do. Now that I have a car, I could even like drive over and maybe pick up a cable.
Borrow
You're so
it.
enthusiastic about driving now. It's because you took public transport for so long.
10
Like,
years of public transport, yeah.
Drive me.
It has to be like a complete change in like kind of state of mind. I keep doing things, or even already this week I've been like, with work, like, I can't go to here because it'll take too long, and they're like, but you have a car now. I'm like, oh yeah, I have a car now. I can just do that. It takes me 5 minutes instead of 2 hours.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the point. Because do you keep finding yourself like checking bus timetables and like train times, and then going, oh yeah, hang on, I've got a car.
Yeah, it's like, how long is it going to take me to get a train up there? Wait, what am I doing? Exactly. I've got a numbskull. I've got a 2008 Honda Civic. That's what I have.
I remember when I first got my car and I was at the local Tesco's and I parked up and like obviously went in, got some stuff, come out, and then started walking home. I was like, hang on a minute, I drove here, and then walked back to the car, being like, oh god, like 15 minutes only bays, and like, you know, can you imagine that? Like, obviously someone's stolen my car. Did you drive it somewhere and then forget that you drove? Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. What about FPV football?
That only works in sim, really.
Yeah, we tried at the LDO drone games.
We play football. We put goggles on and have a football match, but use a camera that's someone flies a drone round and round.
I fly the drone round and round.
We actually play football and have to get
everybody has to fly their own drones round and round.
Oh my god!
Football.
Combining the two, your suggestion earlier, Curry, plus the football suggestion.
Just up the ante a little bit. Now we have to kick a football around as well.
I might need to buy another first aid kit.
You're not allowed to crash your quad into other people in order to gain an advantage.
I might have to buy one. Right,
I've done that at college. Bus home and then reported it stolen. Then I drove into college.
Well done, Grumpy.
Oh, classic move. That is funny. Right, should we call it there, guys?
Yeah, we're only a little bit early.
Do you want to just give us a brief summary for next week? What the right to repair means, just so that we're not all going in completely cold and without any idea what you're talking about.
Could I have a week off next week?
Yes, Tone.
Excellent. Bye.
If they show up, it's fine.
Okay.
The right to repair movement is so that you're able to buy and obtain things to repair your own property. Because a lot of the time now we're getting locked out and we don't have access to tools or parts to repair something. So the classic thing at the moment is Tesla. That's Teslas. You got people like Rich Rebuilds on YouTube where you have to kind of you're forced into a corner where they want only their techs to repair your car and you can't really go anywhere else and you're having to drive long distances. We kind of have that sort of thing here for our cars and stuff. You don't have to use OEM parts, and you know it doesn't void your warranty. But we're fighting a battle with like stuff like Apple and that, where basically they're gluing the screens, gluing your phone shut, and if they find out you've opened it, then they won't repair it, or you know, it voids your warranty.
I see.
And you kind of got extortionate prices where you're kind of almost encouraged to buy a new phone than, you know, because the cost of the screen is almost the price of a new phone.
One day we'll all wake up and recycle more.
or access to drawings, or blocked from buying chips or parts. Yep, definitely Robin. It's how Apple makes smart batteries. You can't change them without using them to repair it because they've got ID chips in them. So, yeah, warranties. Yeah, I avoid warranties.
So we have on at least penciled in. We have a very big guest to talk about that next week,
and we will talk. We will do something for our 300th. Something good.
Something.
Yeah.
Probably get drunk
Hopefully.
or something.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy it.
I mean, DJI's like stuff's a bit sort of, questionable because you've got to register your warranty within 2 weeks. If you forget to do it, then you're not covered, and then you also
activate your goggles for some reason.
Yeah, you can't just use them. You got to activate them. And then also their care plan for the FPV only covers you for 2 crashes. Is that right?
What on that new? I don't know.
Yeah,
on that new drone thing.
Yeah, so we're going to try and if you want to learn more about it, definitely give it a quick Google on Wikipedia. And there's a person called Lewis Rossman who, maybe we could contact iFixit for sponsorship. But yeah, Lewis Rossman, 2 S's, 2 N's, and he's lobbying against it and trying to get that sorted. But we've had some right to repair stuff go through from Europe, but then we decided to leave Europe. So we're probably going to be bashing rocks together.
I'm glad we did leave.
No, it was in our favour, Tony.
Well, I know it was, but I'm just saying I'm still glad we left. Look at the situation that they're in compared to us with the older jabbies.
Yeah.
But on that note,
yet, Tony.
What? I've got to go. I've been told by a nurse I shouldn't have one because of my anaphylactic shock. So,
which nurse told you that? Give me her name. I'll give her a call.
Matron, her name was. Oh, Matron.
All right, thank you guys. You've been listening to Let's Drone Out. You've been joined by my little Tony.
I'm very, very sorry.
No jab, no chip. Mr. Tony. Yeah. No Bill Gates, tracking you and tinfoil hat, nano. Well done, Richard Warwick, for having your jab.
Not getting it.
Everyone's favourite Curry Kitten, who is vaccinated. Have you had your second
jab
one yet?
Second on Saturday.
Congratulations.
He's too young to even need a jab. Andrew/Frank.
Bye.
And the Tories hope that I die. I've been right until I fly.
Bye.